Alright guys, with the playoffs almost here, things are definitely going to be heating up on the puck line. And I think most of us can agree on one thing. Money is amazing, am I right? With that being said, as I've mentioned, I've partnered up with Fanduel, which is the perfect way to test your luck and possibly make some bucks along the way. You can choose your favorite players for your own fantasy team, which, might I add, you can make at any time in the season. As they accumulate points, so will you. And, as I say the best part for last, through Fanduel, you'll automatically receive 20% match of a deposit up to $500. Really, it's free money in a sense. So, if you'd like to possibly make bank and support me, click on the link below to get started. And now, on to the feature presentation. With the season winding down as we naturally begin to look to the playoffs, one can't help but wonder how many huge trades could be going down in this coming offseason. As the cap will most likely keep GMs more restricted, we could see some key players moved before free agency. In this video, I'm going to go over a few franchise star players that will most likely be suiting up for new teams upon the 2021-2022 season commencing. And with that, here are 3 superstar players that are done with their respective teams. For Jack Eichel, this season has been nothing short of a nightmare, as expectations were quite high for his team coming in. It wasn't long before things began to unravel in horrific fashion, but luckily for the captain, I guess from a certain perspective, he was fortunate enough to be far away from the grueling media spotlight during the Sabres' 18-game losing streak. Even still, with a neck injury keeping him sidelined for the remainder of the season, the looming question still remains. Has Jack Eichel already played his last game as a Buffalo Sabre? Eichel, who was inserted into a poorly managed franchise in 2015, has obviously been wasting away for season upon season. Despite having a no-trade clause on his contract, in my opinion, just as Taylor Hall did before him, the captain would have zero hesitation on moving elsewhere if a deal presented itself. And obviously, as we've recently seen with the Hall deal, Kevin Adams is completely okay with jumping at the first package that lands on his doorstep. With that being said, with the New York Rangers constantly being the ideal destination for many fans and spectators, to me, the Los Angeles Kings would be the more logical choice, as the franchise is in the perfect position to welcome in a star talent such as Eichel after a rather inconsistent season. With an aging core paired with flourishing young talent, finally having a bona fide superstar up front that's actually NHL ready would definitely be something that Rob Blake probably wouldn't pass up on. Now, before Tampa fans blast me in the comments for this, let's remember that as much as we form attachments with players over the years, the NHL is still first and foremost a business. And with the captain having a laundry list of injury woes that he's had, it's very possible that GM Julien Brisebois may try and convince Stamkos that it's in the best interest of the team for him to relent and waive his no-move clause, as his cap hit for the next 3 consecutive seasons will be amounting to $8.5 million. With the cap not really going up and having tons of guys to sign, it's very possible that Stamkos, for the first time in his NHL career, could be sporting another team's logo very shortly. Obviously, the Lightning have changed GMs since, but I think most of us can recall the surprising Ben Bishop trade that reportedly took place basically for the same reason a while back. And knowing that Brisebois didn't draft the captain and has no real loyalty to him, if a deal were to present itself, number 91 could be on the move. With very few teams having the financial resources available, the one team that stands out to me as a possible destination for the captain is the New York Rangers. Not only is the timing right from a cultural standpoint, but according to the New York Post and Sportsnet, the Blue Shirts have already tried to land Stamkos on more than one occasion previously, one being during the Jeff Gordon era. Therefore, if Eichel does go to the Kings, D'Angelo finally is bought out, and Gordon can pull some strings and free up some more space financially, Stamkos could finally be representing the city that never sleeps here shortly. Similarly to the Sabres, the Calgary Flames haven't had the season that they would have hoped for in 2021. As a team, going in, had much higher expectations theoretically, as they made some huge moves coming in, while bringing in an elite netminder to Alberta in Jacob Markstrom and acquiring Chris Tanev. Therefore, for the fan base, the team, and most importantly, Brad Treliving, sitting outside of a playoff spot with less than a month left in the regular season has to be demoralizing to some degree. One of 2 names that have been floating around on the trade market target last offseason is that of Johnny Gaudreau's. As a forward, despite almost reaching 100 points a couple seasons back, hasn't been able to recapture the magic since. Along with his struggles in the regular season, Johnny Hockey has had a difficult time in the postseason in particular, as out of 30 playoff games played, number 13 has only been able to notch 19 points throughout. With the team's season most likely botched to start, despite a coaching change, it's very possible that Brad Sherliving will want to make some major changes this offseason, as a modified no-trade clause is set to kick in for the final year of his 6-year, $40 million deal. Gaudreau's chances of being dealt this offseason have never been higher. While he does have ties to Philadelphia, and that destination would also make theoretical sense, out of the two teams that probably need Gaudreau most in the vicinity, the New Jersey Devils definitely stand out to me. After trading away a couple of their cornerstone players in Travis Zajac and Kyle Palmieri, the Devils, who already have lots of picks in their pockets, are in desperate need of an NHL-ready superstar to slot in alongside Jack Hughes on the first line. With lots of cap space currently on the books, it's very possible that Tom Fitzgerald will try and snag Johnny Ham and Cheese sooner rather than later for his team.